6 years ago, I landed my first role in software engineering, and in today's video, I want to share with you everything that I did that made me actually land roles, especially as a beginner. There were some steps and strategies that I used. I want to share with you the exact strategies and steps that I took to land my first job as a beginner, and in so doing, I can be able to help you whether you're in tech or any other industry. You can find some hacks and some tips that are going to help you find a job or land a job that you're seeking. For those who are new here, hi, my name is Gloria, and let me help you find your next job. Now, full disclosure, I am going to divide this video into 3 phases so that it's easy to digest and you can be able to dissect information in a more understandable way, because that's just how my brain works. I'm a strategic person. I like thinking in phases. In these 3 phases, the first one is going to be preparation, where I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about prepping for a job or prepping for job hunting. The second phase is going to be the visibility strategy, where I'm going to share with you the strategies that I use even up to date to ensure that I stay on top of mind of anyone I want to work with or anyone I would want to land me a gig or a job. And the third phase is going to be the hunting phase, where we are going to talk about the tips and the hacks that you can employ in your job hunting strategy so that you can be able to find your next job. So phase 1 is preparation, and the first thing you need to do is to get your mind ready. Right now, the corporate market is not the way it was 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. There has been so much change and so much shift that has happened in recruitment, and also COVID did its thing. So we all know that the landscape has now changed and it has progressed like really quickly, and now there's the rise of AI. You really need to have a mindset that is stronger than exactly what you're facing right now. So the first tip that I'll give you guys when it comes to your mindset is adopt a learner's mindset. Because right now, the people who are actually getting roles are the ones who are demonstrating the skill of, I am ready to learn. I am ready to learn this new skill. I am ready to adopt into this new industry. I am ready to evolve as a person. And then the second thing that you really need to do with your mindset is, the world doesn't know you anything. This was one harsh lesson I had to learn in the beginning stages of my career. I thought because I was taking a software engineering major and I was doing a hard course, like it was an engineering course, that the corporate market owed me a job. Well, it didn't. So the second thing you need to change is that the world doesn't owe you anything, and you need to work hard or work smart in order for you to get what you're looking for. The second thing that you need to do in the preparation phase is to get your documents ready. So a lot of us may not be aware of this, but sometimes the thing that gets your name through the door is going to be your resume or your certifications. So if you haven't yet organized your certification based on what skills you've been able to acquire, what you've been able to upskill, as well as representing your experiences or past projects. In this case, we are going to use projects because honestly, you are a beginner, probably you've not been able to collect enough job experience. So you have to indicate at least some projects that you've worked on. They can be personal, or they can also be projects you've helped someone else do, and you need to outline that in your resume such that when a recruiter or a headhunter is going through your resume and they are counter checking with the certifications that you've outlined or the skills that you've outlined in your resume, they can be able to find the certifications that match what you have indicated you have skills in your resume. Then the next thing that's going to come in handy during your preparation phase is going to be prepping for interviews. Now, for those of you who did not know, the tech space usually goes through a series of interviews, especially if you're working on a technical role. Like for me, for example, when I was interviewing for a site reliability engineer at Google, I went through 7 phases of interviews, right? So the first phase, it was a get to know me. The second phase, of course, it was more on my grasp of knowledge. Then I was thrown into the deep end where I had to come up with an algorithm, and then I was to implement the algorithm using the programming language that I said I'm proficient in. Then I had to explain what I did. You get the gist. So you need to prepare for interviews, especially if you're in tech, or even if you're not in tech. you need to find where you can prepare for interviews, because interviews, the screening process that usually happens in recruitment, it's a tedious one, and you better be prepared for what's gonna come your way. Especially if you're in tech, I'm not gonna lie, you're going to go through phases of interviews because they need to make sure that you have grasp of content and you know what you're doing. If you're in tech, you can use sites like LeetCode. I found LeetCode to be very, very mind engaging for me, and I've been using it ever since. If you're in data science or you're trying to get into a data-driven role, you can try prepare.sh. If you're into design, if you're into product management, project management, product ownership, UX UI design, you can try CoderRank or HackerRank and so many other websites that are there. Then the next thing that you're gonna have to do is to build in public. And yes, I mean sharing your experiences on LinkedIn, because here's the thing: if you're trying to get into the network of recruiters, or if you're trying to find an opportunity, you have to go where decision makers hang out, and that is LinkedIn. A lot of the people who hire, a lot of recruiters, a lot of headhunters, they're usually on LinkedIn scouting and trying to see if they can build up their network of job seekers and network of talent, such that when they get contracted, they can be able to find the right candidate for that particular company. So what you want to do is to start sharing your experience. Talk about how you are finding a job, talk about the skills you're learning, talk about the certifications you're taking, talk about the failures you are getting and experiencing, talk about the highs and the lows of you being a job seeker, and just put it out there, because you never know who's watching, and that's the beauty of building in public. Then the next thing that's going to come in handy in your quest to become visible is going to be offering free services. And yes, I know it is not what you're expecting to hear, but it is something that actually helps you be on top of mind of the right people who want to work with you, or the right people who want to hire you. Because here's the thing: when you engineer some sort of value, or you're able to show these people that you want to work with that you actually have the skills through free work without you asking for anything in return, what you in turn are using is human psychology, and you are basically using the basic human psychology, which is the law of reciprocity. So if someone gets to enjoy your services and you're offering them for free, or you offer to give them a service or an experience, or to solve a problem for them for free, they are going to feel the urge of paying you back or paying it forward. So even if they don't have the opportunity for you, they're going to find a way to return it back to you. So they can either send you a referral, or they can even send you a job application, or they can just mention you to someone who is looking for your certain kind of skill set, and that is how you will land a job. Now, if you're finding any of the tips that I'm sharing here to be particularly of value, then make sure to let me know in the comment section. Also, like the video while you're down there, so that the algorithm pushes this video out to more people like you who need this help. The next phase is the hunting strategy. And yes, these are the tips and tricks that I personally used and I still use up to date to find jobs or to find gigs that I am looking for. Now, the first place, or the first thing that goes into the hunting strategy, is you having job boards or job listing sites that are going to be of benefit to you. For example, I know there are a few which I'm going to mention, and of course I'm gonna share the sites with you guys. So the first one I know is Hiring Cafe. I've been using it for a while. That was the first place I actually got my freelancing job at. So you can check it out. They usually list jobs every single week, and they update it every 3 working days. So it's a good place to get started. The second place that I have been using to find jobs is LinkedIn. And I know I've mentioned LinkedIn a lot in this video, so I'm guessing that LinkedIn is my fairy godmother when it comes to job hunting. So you can try it out as well, because LinkedIn is where decision makers hang out, and you want to make, or rather you want to land your jobs from LinkedIn, because that is where the jobs actually are. And then the third place that you can start looking for roles, or you can start thinking about searching for job roles, is also going to be recruitment sites. So there are companies that are built to just hire talent in bulk, and I do not know many of them, but I am pretty sure you can find some of them when you Google search. These companies are just they're just like contracted to ensure they get the right talent for these particular companies, so they pull resources together and they look for talent. Then the second strategy you can employ in your hunting strategy or hunting game plan is going to be networking with recruiters. Now, a lot of people underrate this particular step or this particular strategy, but honestly, the more recruiters you know, the higher your chances of landing a role. Because I'm gonna steal for you a secret. 80% of the jobs that you guys actually get to hear people have been hired on, they don't exist on job sites. They are kept hush hush, and a lot of those opportunities are shared with recruiters and headhunters. The reason why this happens is because the company wants to ensure they streamline the hiring and recruitment process as fast as possible, and the budgets are usually limited as well because the timeline for them to hire is coming to an end. How do I know this? It's because I am actually a career coach. And if you're struggling with your career, do let me know in the comment section so that I can create maybe a video or a resource that's going to help you with your career journey. But yes, that is what usually happens in the recruitment space. So what you want to do is to identify at least 3 to 5 recruiters so that you keep them in your network, because what this in turn does is it puts you in the pool of talent or the pool of people who are talented or skilled in a specific area, such that when recruiters are hunting, they look at you or they look in their pool of networks and they can be able to find you. And the other thing that's going to help you with your hunting strategy is going to be setting yourself up with pro bono work. Pro bono work in layman's language just means free work, but with strategic organizations. So these organizations can either be Fortune 500 nonprofits, they can also be Fortune 500 or Fortune 400 companies, and they can also be voluntary work that is related to companies that have a big name, right? So think Google, think Deloitte, think PwC, think which company is big here in Kenya. Do let me know in the comment section, because the only thing that I'm thinking about are all the Fortune 500 companies that I've been able to work with. You want to position yourself in these pro bono work opportunities so that you can have a big name attached to who you are and your experiences in corporate. Because if people trust the organization, they're gonna trust the ethic and integrity of your work, and that is what you want to do from the start. Because remember, you want to make a good first impression, and you also want to ensure that the people who get to choose you and the people who get to choose to work with you know the value that you're bringing up front. And the best way to do that is to have a big name accompanied or attached to your experiences and how you've been able to acquire the skills that you have right now. So there you have it. That is how I would begin looking for a new job if I was just right now looking for a job in tech or any other space, because you can be able to position yourself for the right jobs because you have the right strategies. I hope you found those particular tips to be particularly helpful. If you did, then make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, because I plan to be sharing tips like this to help you with your career, personal brand, or even make more money, because I am trying to make more money and I will be sharing my journey with you here on YouTube. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. But I am going to see you guys in the next one.